What's up guys, Shiz here with Shiz's Picks episode 6, where I talk about the digital releases that I played throughout the week, what my opinion of them is, the difficulty, the achievement list, and so on and so forth. So I'm starting with Megaman Legacy Collection. If you know Megaman, you know exactly what I'm going to say. This game is the easiest thing ever, and if it's your first time playing, 100% no problem. But for real, it's just so brutal. I remembered it being hard, I didn't remember it being impossible. To the point where I regret buying it because I have no fun. I still haven't beaten a single level, and it's just, I don't have the time to just sit down and get good at this game, and I don't even want to be honest. It's just, if you're a Mega Man fan, it's amazing. It has Mega Man 1 through 6. You can have the borders on the sides like I displayed here, kind of like Rare Replay, or you can just put it full screen or have black on the side. It actually gives you quite a few options. It's actually better than Rare Replay in that sense. Achievement wise, the game is actually a lot easier than the Mega Man games on the 360. It's basically just like beat every game and get gold on every challenge, and you'll get all the achievements, which obviously sounds a lot easier than it is. So yeah, Mega Man fans will be thrilled that they're getting 6 games for $19. But if you're not the best at these like old school 8-bit games and you don't know what you're getting into, I would say watch videos or something, because it's just so hard. Next up we have Whispering Willows, which is like a 2D left to right puzzle solving game, I guess, if you would want to call it. It's more just doing quest after quest. Basically, you're looking for your dad, you're going to deal with some spirits and etc, etc. And it's one of those games where, you know, this guy needs something, so you go get it and then bring it back, and that's going to give you a new item to bring to this guy, and so on and so forth. Kind of like Zelda Quest-ish, but it's got a very cool style to it. It's very minimalistic sound, but it works. It's very short though. My first run took me a little under 3 hours. My second about an hour and 15 minutes when I was streaming it. And it's short once you obviously figure out the puzzles, and the game itself is not very hard, so on your first playthrough you shouldn't really get stumped, besides maybe 2 or 3 parts here and there. But besides that, it's not the hardest game in the world, and it's very short. The achievement list is pretty straightforward. It's a lot of story progression, but there are some that are missable, such as just interacting with paintings that you wouldn't think of just pressing A on, stuff like that, interacting with a symbol on a wall. It's one of those games you would have to look at the achievement list before going for them, because you're not just going to think, oh, let me just go to this one thing out of this entire room and press A, because I didn't press A on anything else. But it is a very fun game. I actually enjoyed it more the second time than I did the first, for some reason. Usually it's the opposite. I just try to run through the second one just to get achievements I missed or whatever, but I actually 100%ed the first one and then came back, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. It's a nice little game. Next up we have Goat Simulator Mmore Goatz Edition. One thing that was pretty cool and clever about the title is that Mmore is with 2 M's, and it's because it's a MMO, kind of supposed to be like Skyrim, and then Goatz is with a Z to be like Goat Z, making fun or referencing DayZ. Now if you play the first Goat Simulator, you know exactly what to expect. It's just non-stop stupid shit. And that's basically all it is. It's terrible physics, terrible graphics, funny music, everything about it is purposely awful. And that's exactly what this one is. Although this one is, so far, I've only played it a couple of hours, but it's a lot more boring than the first one. The first one was actually fun for a little while, and this one, it took me like 15 minutes before I was done with it. And I do want to go back and play it to see everything it has to offer and to get all the achievements, but I don't know, this just does nothing for me compared to the first one. The first one was actually fun enough that I perfected it on the 1 and then the 360 right after, and this one I played 2 hours and I was like, okay, I need a break. Achievement wise, it's the same as the first game in the sense that it's just a whole bunch of randomness. It's definitely a lot harder than the first one. The first one took me 2 or 3 hours to 100%, whereas this one I played 2 or 3 hours and I got like, I think less than 200 of the 1,000 points. So you really have to use guides or just know what you're going for to find the items or craft the items that you need, etc. But it's basically, yeah, it's just more Goat Simulator. The first one is just an MMO, the second one is a zombie apocalypse where you have to last as long as you can, you gotta eat, you gotta craft, etc. It's Goat Simulator, I mean, you know what you're getting. Next up is Nova-111. Now, out of all the games on this list, this is the one I played the least, just because the night that it came out, it wasn't working on Twitch. So I kind of put it on the back burner for a day or two, and then I played it maybe 1 hour. But my first impressions were very good. It was very fun and definitely unique in the sense that you move square by square. And it does have like a turn-based effect to it with enemies, which is definitely interesting, the way that you have to combine movement with avoiding and dishing out attacks. I could definitely see this game really making you use your brain. There's, I think, 111 of those scientists, which if you're like me and you hate achievements that don't end in 0 and 5, this game will be a bitch, because there are achievements for 1 gamer score for starting the game, 111 clever gamer score for finding the 111 scientists, if I'm not mistaken. There's an achievement for beating the game without taking damage, which is good luck with that. You're probably going to get hit 7 million times on level 1. Besides that, the game has a very, very cool style to it. Music, I didn't even notice, so I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. Usually music is always a big thing for me, and this one I just don't remember. So I don't know if it was just so seamless, or if it just didn't do anything for me. But this game, from the little time I played, it seems like it has a lot of potential to be both very good and very difficult and confusing. But I'm definitely gonna have to go back to this one and check it out, because it definitely piqued my interest. Next up is Magnetic Cage Closed, which is actually very, very fun. I keep seeing comparisons to Cube and Portal, and I would definitely say it reminds me a lot of Cube, in the sense that that game had a like push objects in, push objects out button. This one is a magnet gun, so the same type of thing. You have positive and negative, so you're going to be pulling platforms out of walls, so on and so forth. If you shoot at the ground while you have the negative, I guess, the one that pushes you away, you can sort of fly. So I could definitely see this game getting very, very complicated. It's only like 2.5 hours in, and I've already been scratching my head quite a few times. It's a very, very well made game. The graphic style, the warden that you can hear on screen.
Got it into their head that variation was more motivating. That it gives you and your peers an illusion of progress.
Yeah, the warden is good. He really makes he frustrates you in the sense that he's an asshole, so you really want to finish the level and shut him up, if that makes sense. And the style is very, very nice. I find this magnet gun looks incredible. It looks almost like something out of Wolfenstein, actually. But a lot of fun. Achievement wise, again, this is going to be another really brutal one. It's a lot of find all 9 endings, beat the game in 2.5 hours, beat it in 1 hour and 15 minutes. It really is not going to be an easy one, but I definitely suggest this game. It's a lot of fun. And finally, my pick of the week is actually Octodad Dadliest Catch. Now, first of all, this is by far not the best made game in the list. This is just the one that I had the most fun with, because man, did I have fun. Especially the fact that I did a drunken Twitch stream on release night and people were loving it made me love the game more. But I just had so much fun with this one. The controls are awful and so brutal to get used to. The graphic style is pretty funny. The story, if you want to call it a story, is pretty ridiculous. Everything about this game is just like completely absurd and ridiculous, and that's what I love about it. Obviously it doesn't have that much replayability because of that, but for the, let's say 10-15 hours you could get out of this if you play with friends and all that, it's well worth the $15 because it's so much fun. I played through it twice. Achievement wise, I thought I was going to get all except for the achievement of beating the game without failing. It was actually really easy when you put it on easy difficulty. I was stressing for nothing. It was the easiest thing of life. So achievement wise, it's very easy. You're most likely going to need guides because some stuff is just obscure, especially the collectibles. But besides that, it's an easy game. It's a fun game. If you like just, you know, messing around and not taking it too serious and just sitting down and having a laugh, then definitely suggest this one. So hopefully you guys liked this episode of the Shiz Picks. Hopefully I helped you guys choose what game you're going to buy this week. And I'll see you soon.
You look so handsome. Guess you'll have to get the ring yourself.